Morning. I went in the back and come out and there was one more, so I thought I'd go back again and see if we just got one more, so that's good. So welcome everyone. Today will be our prayer and testimony service. Way of announcements, we really don't have too much. I got a letter from the Center Place Restoration School, Waldo, Missouri. And they've been collecting funds for the Center Place Restoration School, and they've gathered $35,000 so far. They have some matching funds available from a donor, so the more they receive, they'll match that amount. Their goal is $57,000, and $30,000 of that will go to the first phase of the sanctuary auditorium renovation. That sanctuary at the school is used for 4 purposes. It's a worship center for the school, chapels, the auditorium for the school's concerts and plays, and it serves as a sanctuary for the Waldo Restoration Branch, and it's a gathering place for restoration branches in the Center Place going to the CRE and POZ and town reunions and summer series. So we have that information to share with you. If you'd like to reach out to them, I'll put it back on the piano so that you have availability to it. Let's go ahead and go ahead and open our service with a call to worship, Philippians 4:6-7. Can you hear me okay? Okay. I had to tweak the audio a little bit, so. Philippians 4:6-7. Be afflicted for nothing, but in everything by prayer and supplication, with thanksgiving, let your requests be known unto God. And the peace of God, which passes all understanding, shall keep your hearts and minds through Christ Jesus. The Lord add a blessing on the reading of the Scripture. Let's turn to hymn number 10. We'll stand for the singing of hymn 10. We have a happy little baby this morning, so she'll probably sing along with us. You start, Paul.
Praise Him, Jesus our blessed Redeemer. Sing, O earth, His wonderful love proclaim. Hail Him, highest archangels in glory. Strength and honor give to His holy name. Like a shepherd, Jesus will guard His children. In His arms He carries them all day long. Praise Him, tell of His excellent greatness. Praise Him, ever in joyful song. Praise Him, Jesus our blessed Redeemer. For our sins He suffered and bled and died. Ye are rock, our hope of eternal salvation. Hail Him, Jesus the crucified. Sound His praises, Jesus who bore our sorrows. powerful, deep, and strong. Praise Him, tell of His excellent greatness. Praise Him, ever in joyful song. Praise Him, Jesus our blessed Redeemer. Heavenly portals loud with hosannas ring. Jesus, Savior, reigneth forever and ever. Crown Him, prophet and preaching King. Christ is coming, over the world victorious. Power and glory unto the Lord belong. Praise Him, tell of His excellent greatness. Praise Him, ever in joyful song.
Gracious Heavenly Father, we do praise you. We thank you for all the wonderful gifts that you provide us daily, sustaining us and walking before us, Father, to show us the way. I pray that we can continue to grow and become closer to you and invite you this hour to enlighten our hearts and allow us to be just a bit closer. Father, come and be with us. I pray this in your loving Son, Jesus Christ. Let's go ahead and take a look at our prayer list and get that up to date. Richard called me this morning and said he wasn't going to be here. Said his hand was hurting him and maybe he's staying home. Dan and Arlene called Dad last night, and Dan's having trouble with his legs, of course, and he's got a lot of pain right now with that. He can't hardly walk, so we need to make sure we keep them on our prayers. Anyone want to add anyone? Or give an update on any of them?
I just wanted to share with you, Vicki Nicholson called me, or we talked actually for a long time. Just so you know, it says migraines and a new job, but that doesn't tell the whole story. So I just wanted to share the background of this. Vicki's my daughter, of course, and ever since she was a young girl, she suffered from migraine headaches. And they've been so bad, she's even had to go to the hospital at times. And it seems that what brings them on is stress. So she just got a new job. She was not happy with where she was working, so she got a new position. It's a good job and she likes it, but getting used to it is bringing a lot of stress because she has to make an awful lot of decisions in her position. And so she's been having migraines. So I just wanted to share that with you so we can hold her up in your prayers and know why that she needs them right now.
Any other additions to the prayer list? Kelly, did you have someone you needed to add? No? All right, well, Dad seems to be doing a little bit better, getting around a little better. Been healing for quite a few weeks now, so hopefully on the end of that slope. And please make sure we keep him in our thoughts and continue to deal. All right, well, let's move on into our service, and we'll have an opportunity later for prayers and testimonies. Let's turn our hymnals to hymn number 347. This will be our offertory hymn.
We give thee, God, mine own, whatever thy gift may be. All that we have is thine alone. captive to release, to God the lost to bring, to teach the way of life and peace. It is a Christ-like thing. And we believe thy word, Lord, in our faith may be. Whatever thine we do, O Lord, we do it unto thee.
Our offertory statement comes from Psalm 96, 7 and 8. Give unto the Lord, all ye kindreds of people, give unto the Lord glory and strength. Give unto the Lord the glory due unto his name. Bring an offering and come into his courts. Gracious Heavenly Father, thank you for allowing us to find the ways to be able to come and give back to you, Father, to give of our first fruits back to the church and to your good works. Father, we ask a blessing upon these offerings from those that have given and those that have shared, that you would bless them, Father, and bless these offerings to be used in the betterment of your work here in this land. We thank you for these opportunities, Father. We pray this in your loving Son, Jesus Christ. Amen. Last week, we probably seen a lot of the celebration of the 50th anniversary of the Apollo 2 moon mission. I was able to watch some of that. Friday they had a nice series on. I had an opportunity to sit and watch that, and I was glad I did. I, of course, was very young, maybe at the time that all occurred, and to reflect back on that, to see all the things that went on was rewarding for myself. A lot of things I didn't know that I was able to get a better grasp on. So I was glad I was able to watch that. Now our theme this month is freedom, love, and sacrifice. And I kept thinking a lot about what those men were sacrificing for our love and freedom of this country. This theme has been going on for the month or so, and we've had a lot of discussions around that. And so I just pulled some articles together to share with you. I'm going to share a short one, and then we'll go into prayer and testimony. Give you an opportunity to share if you desire, and if we have time, I'll share some of these other stories. The first story is titled, "A Day, a Train Station Knelt in Prayer." On the morning of D-Day, commuters transformed Washington, D.C.'s Union Station into a special place for peace and prayer. This was written by Charles E. Wilson. The story first appeared in 1958 with an issue of Guidepost. Thousands of people crisscrossed back and forth through Washington's Union Station that morning back in 1944. The high-ceilinged central waiting room was alive with a tense excitement that was reflected on the faces and in the quick footsteps of the wartime commuters coming to the Capitol. There was a sense of expectancy in the air. For weeks, months, one word had been in people's minds. It hung in the air, almost touchable, just out of reach. Invasion. I stood there on this morning on June 6, 1944, waiting for a friend and scanning the faces of the commuters as they poured out of their trains and into the station. There was no announcement on the loudspeaker, no extras were shouted, there was no visible source of the news. But suddenly, the scurrying and the crisscrossing stopped. The loud hum of 1,000 conversations ceased. The news passed from friend to friend, from stranger to stranger. What is it? What happened? The invasion begun. Their landing in Normandy. A hush fell over the waiting room. I was aware of little things. The soft tread of the few people still walking, the stream of sunlight that fell into the waiting room as it does in a cathedral. While I stood watching, it began. First, it was a woman who, right there in the station, dropped to her knees and folded her hands near her. Near her, a man knelt down, then another and another, until all around me, people knelt in prayer before the hard-wooden benches of the Union Station. What were we praying for that morning of the invasion? For Jim, or for France, or for Genova, or just for peace? Perhaps for no reason at all except that in the hush we felt the need to pray. The quiet lasted for no longer than a few minutes. Then slowly the woman rose to her feet. The man next to her rose too, clearing his throat and walked off rapidly, as if he felt a sudden embarrassment. Within seconds, the station was alive with movement and talk again. But for those of us who witnessed the hush, Union Station will always have a special meaning. We were there on the day the railroad station in Washington, D.C. became a house of worship. So I reflected on the impact of that moment, what that must have been like. Think about the mind of the nation at the time and the people of this country. They were all able to kneel before the Lord in a public place and offer prayer for what was to come. Offer prayers for our freedom and for the love and sacrifice of so many that were heading on. We see the things that go on in the government these days and wonder where it's going to go, what's going to happen. Our religious freedoms are always at odds. We're always battling for them. And it's a little scary, depending on who is leading our government and who is barking the loudest in our government and what will happen. So we should continue to keep those things in prayer. We know our Father will be victorious. How that victory will come is unknown. I would rather see it come with the glory of all the nation, being servants of Him, versus Him having to come and cleanse the land. Let me turn this over to you now, give you an opportunity opportunity to share a prayer, a testimony, a word of inspiration.
Well, I didn't have a exciting week, so I really didn't have anything particular to share in the way of testimony. I'd like to please offer a prayer. Father, now we do come before thee, thankful for the blessings that thou hast given to us, and thankful for the opportunity, Father, to come to worship thee. We come before thee, Father, with many concerns in our minds and our hearts, not only for ourselves individually, but Father, particularly concerned about the church and the strength of it. Father, we thank you for the blessing of the strength of your people here, as few of us that are gathering, yet remain strong in our faith, as strong as we have ever been, and perhaps maybe even a little bit stronger because of the necessity. We ask, Lord, that you might continue to give us that confidence and that kind of strength that we need to continue on. Thank you, Lord, for the opportunities that you have given unto us to be of service. We pray that we might be able to continue to be available to those who come seeking the Lord. Now we pray also for the sick and afflicted among our number. We know, Father, there are many who we desire to be here, if they could. And Father, I pray that you might also help those who are seeking, that they may be aware that this church and branch is here, that we are available to offer ministry to those who are seeking. I pray for also for this nation as a whole, because we suffer from so many other kinds of problems and crime and the drugs and the various other negative things that are happening. At the same time, Father, we find that there is hope in a lot of fields that medicine and things that are advancing, and we thank you for that. We ask, Lord, that you may continue to minister to us, keep our faith strong, bless and watch over us, allow us, Father, to be useful in thy work. And we do again, Father, give thanks to thee for the love and blessings, mostly, Father, and thank you for the love of Jesus Christ, who blesses and strengthens our lives. Help us, Father, as we continue to worship thee, that we may continue to feel the presence of thy Spirit, that we may have that comfort, that we may have that strength that we need to go through each day. Thank you again, Father, for your love and goodness. I ask you to accept this prayer in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen.
My sermon last week was concerned the development of this country, really from the beginning of time as a Christian nation. Our last president said that the United States is no longer a Christian nation. Thank goodness that our present president felt the need to attend the nation's day of prayer, which he and his wife both attended. We have a number of people on our prayer list that we need to be concerned about. So I'd like to offer prayer. Heavenly Father, our prayer list is somewhat lengthy, and there are a number of names on there that we would like to hold up to you for your consideration to bless and to help them through their trying times, and may your comforting spirit be with each one of them. Particularly, there are some that I have a special concern for, and I'd like to hold up to you. Pray for Dan and Arlene and their condition at this time. Due to their age, Father, and you are well aware of this, they are having these trials and afflictions which cause them not to be able to live a full and pleasant life. They would be here today to worship with us if it were possible. So I hold up to them, and especially Dan, that you would bless him and help him through this trial that he's having with his legs in particular. That you would remove the pain and suffering that he's having, that he might be able to move around and do the things that he desires to do without being hindered by so much pain and suffering. I pray for our brother Richard King, and he's having problems with his feet and suffering. So I pray for him also, Father, and hold him up for your consideration. I have a special need, or special reason for holding up to you my daughter Vicki. And as you know, she's been going through some stressful times in her life. And so I pray, Father, that you would be with her and bless her, and if it be your will to remove from her these migraine headaches that she is suffering from so often. I pray that you might help her to understand and to be able to perform her duties without the stress which is involved in them, so that she might not have to go through these things. I know that there are many among your children who need your help and healing. And I would not impose upon you to heal everyone, but I would ask for your consideration on each one of their behalf as I hold them up to you in prayer. Thank you, Father, for all the blessings that you have given to me, especially some of my trials. So I pray for this congregation, and I pray that those who are not able to come and worship with us for different reasons, that you might touch their hearts and reveal to them the necessity of being close to you and close to the saints. Perhaps they will return to be with us. So thank you, Father, for all of your blessings and for the many gifts that you have bestowed upon each and every one of us. And I pray that you will continue to guide and direct our activities, that we might become a righteous, not only a righteous church, but a righteous nation. And I pray this in Jesus' name. Amen.
At my job, I'm the president of an organization that helps people to become great public speakers. I don't know the last time that I was nervous speaking in front of a group of people, but I've been sitting back here listening to my heartbeat in my ears and shaky legs, so please forgive me if I get a little shaky or emotional, but it's something very personal. When I was getting ready this morning, I was hoping with all my heart that this would not be prayer and testimony meeting, because I knew that I would be compelled to share this. And of course, God knows better than I do, He knew that I had to share this with you. So, you've seen me here every once in a while over the last 5 or 6 years. I'll show up. Maybe I'll come for a few weeks, and then you won't see me for a few months. And that's because I've always been afraid to open up, to commit. And the reason behind that is because I like to drink. I like alcohol. I love alcohol. I've been doing it pretty well for the last 20 years. But I made my wife a deal back when we first got together. That if we ever had a kid, that would be the end of it. We're due October 18th. So I'm done. I no longer have anything to hold me back from committing. Now, I've always been afraid if I show up too often, somebody's going to ask me to be a member of the priesthood, and I knew that I wasn't ready for that. So I let that hold me back from being who I'm supposed to be, but I'm not going to be held back any longer. I'm here. You'll be seeing a lot more of me, so I hope you get used to it. And I look forward to getting to know all of you a little better too.
Thank you. Congratulations. It'll be a good time, and she'll be not letting me hold her much no more, so I'll get to. Very good news. Got a lot of stories here, so feel free to speak up. Let me share this story with you. It's a little lengthy, but I enjoyed it. Again, goes back to our roots. And 50 years